everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to paint this dark and beautiful sugar skull design. I decided to start with the eyes for this design so that when I put the eyeshadow on it, none of the fallout would fall onto my white base. And to start with the eyeshadow, just choose any color you want. I used creamy magenta. And apply that to your eyelid. Make sure that the paint isn't too watery. You don't want it running down into your eye. And this can be done pretty haphazardly. You don't have to be too careful because it's going to spread out pretty far around your eye. To help blend out any harsh lines, use a dry, fluffy brush and back and forth swiping motions to blend out the color. Do this quickly because once the paint is dry, it's stuck there and won't blend at all. You can also use eyeshadows like I did here to further blend out the color to create a nice fade. Next, grab a smaller brush and apply black eyeshadow to the bottom of your lash lines and also the outer corner of your eye and the inner corner of your eye. Fade the black out towards the center, but make sure that pink stays visible in the center of your eyelid. This will help to create more depth and dimension. Finally, using a dome brush, apply the black eyeshadow to the crease of your eye and grab a fluffier brush to blend it all out. And voila, you have a sultry, smoky eye. As you can see, I changed the non-sugar skull eye to neutral colors to help create contrast in the design, but it's the same technique, just different colors. Next, you're going to want to sketch out where you want your skin to start and the sugar skull to end, or vice versa. There's several ways to apply the white base. This is one way, and you just quickly throw on some white face paint and blend it out using a sponge. And make sure you use a creamy type of paint. This is the Kryvaline Creamy White that I'm using. Unfortunately, this technique can be a bit patchy and it's not the best way to do it, but I wanted to show you in case you need to apply a white base and you don't have a fluffier brush like a kabuki brush, or you'll see I use a dual fiber brush in this video. The best way is definitely a kabuki brush. It gives nice soft results. My kabuki brush was full of makeup, so I couldn't use it. So instead I just used this dual fiber brush, and I went in and kind of cleaned up all the patchiness that was created with the sponge technique. Wipe away anywhere where your white kind of overstepped where you wanted it to end. Clean up all the lines and create your edges. Using a purpley pink eyeshadow and a blush brush, I applied this color to the contours of my face where you normally would apply it for a skull, and then I deepened it with black. I find that eyeshadows are easier to blend for this purpose than paints. Next, I outlined my eye with that creamy magenta color, and I outlined it in the color that my little bumps along the eye is going to be. Draw on your bumps, or whatever they're called, and just make sure that they're larger on the outer corner of your eye, and then as you can see here, you make them smaller on the inner corner. It just makes a more flattering design. Carefully line the inner rim of your eye socket and outline each individual half circle. And you want to keep this line relatively thin and try to keep it as clean as possible. It could be a bit time consuming, so prepare yourself for that. And you can finish off the outer design by adding contrasting colored dots to the middle of each circle. Using Black Star Blend, I simply smudged the color into the inner rim of the eye and then used a fluffier brush to blend it out and to help the two colors meld together seamlessly. For the flower, I started by painting a circle using Kryvaline's regular teal. And then I outlined it with the creamy teal, which is a bit darker. And this is just going to help the circle to look a little more 3D-ish. And to blend the colors together, I just tapped it with my finger. Apply some white, tap it with your finger, and you've got a pretty cool looking little circle there, and it's really easy to do. Don't be afraid to use your fingers as tools. For the petals, I just used a flat brush and had them longer in the middle and then 2 little bumps on the sides. And as you can see, I'm not being too careful about it because we're going to define them with teardrops later on. For my swirls, I used the Kryvaline's Creamy Teal and a number 3 low Cornell brush, I believe. So I'm pulling back on my swirl to make it a double swirl and ending nicely on my point. So go all the way to the tip of your brush to help all your lines end nice and small. So press and lift. A couple more teardrops at the bottom to help bring everything together, and repeat wherever you can on the other side. I wanted to add texture to my flower, so instead of just outlining it, I flicked in Kryvaline Creamy Rose, and then in the opposite direction, I flicked in white, and then just one simple tap kind of blends the two together. If you want to save time, feel free to just use a 1 stroke for this instead, get it all done in one step. Now using lime green and fluorescent green, I'm highlighting all of my teardrops and my swirls. And what this does is it adds a lot of dimension, and it's a great way to bring details into your paint that doesn't really take a lot of time, but it looks impressive. Using black, put a thin line in for your cheekbone, and underneath that, you're going to shade with that same pinky eyeshadow color, and make sure to go down by your mouth right there to create a skull-like effect, and deepen it up with black. Next, I'm going to do half flowers on my cheekbone and also my chin. And I did these in the same exact way that I did the one on top of my head, the same exact technique. Make sure to only do 3 petals on the flowers that are on your cheekbone and also the one on your chin. I'm going to continue filling in the rest of the empty spaces with swirls and teardrops, and they're all going to kind of mirror each other in the way that they look. So I do a swirl and then fill it in with the teardrops surrounding it, and then to help mimic the swirls on the forehead, I'm going to make this a double swirl as well. Remember to start on your tip, press all the way down, and end in a nice point. So press and then pull up on the tip of your brush. And I made this a double swirl as well, and finish it off by surrounding it with teardrops. For the lips, I used Kryvaline Rose. It's such a beautiful dark burgundy color. It's so good for outlining. I love it. And then I filled in the inside with the creamy magenta, and then just pressed my lips together to give it a nice blend. I realized that I'd forgotten to do the shading on the other side of my mouth where the sugar skull's peeking through there. So I just added it quickly and used the black to help add depth. And going out from each corner of the mouth, I'm pulling a very thin line that curves slightly upwards. And then to do the teeth, I start thick on my brush, pull down, and then end very thin on the tip of my brush so that each tooth ends in a nice fine point. And you want to make sure that as you go towards the back of the smile that the teeth get smaller and smaller. For the nose, I just pulled up on my brush 2 points connected by a curved line. Kind of looks like little ears on an animal or something. And then fill it in with black, and don't forget to paint that part of your nose. I don't know what it's called, the part between your nostrils. And that's it for the sugar skull portion. For the illusion that the sugar skull is under the skin, I just used a pencil brush and some black eyeshadow. I didn't use paint because I didn't want it to be that harsh of a line. And then using that same pencil brush and some red eyeshadow, just a little separated, but right along that same line, I just did a soft red line to make it look like the skin was irritated and kind of pulling up in sections, and finished it off with blood for even more added effect. Unfortunately, I didn't get video of my finished look because I forgot. I was just having that kind of a day. But I did finish the sugar skull, and here that is, so you would see what it looked like all the way done. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Facebook. The link to that is below, as well as all the products I used in this video and where you can buy them. Thanks, everyone.